Governor Hochul went further than Charlie Crist and said, not just does she not want your support, she doesn't want you living in the state of New York if you support Donald Trump. Watch.
And we're here to say that the era of Trump and Zeldin and Molinaro, just jump on a bus and head down to Florida where you belong, okay? Get out of town. Get out of town. Because you don't represent our values. You are not New Yorkers.
Who is she to decide what New York values really are? Have you heard such a thing, Karyn?
Jump on a bus and come on down. I mean, this is so sad because I love New York. And what's crazy is to think that this person is saying don't live here. But you know what it is? It's the power of the people.
She's the governor.
They don't want the people standing up against them. She doesn't want the people standing up against what she wants, what this liberal world order wants. So you know what? Send them to Florida because she doesn't want to deal with them. That's what this is about. She doesn't want the blowback from the people when they stand up against all of these stupid things that they're trying to implement.
Yep. Absolutely. Well, I certainly always respect your opinion, Karyn. Great analysis as always. But let's go to our buddy Andrew Phipps. I think both of us and everyone in the audience wants to hear what he has to say. If it's Monday morning, he's one of the real American voices we wake up with. Andrew, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Good to be with you today.
It's always great to have you, sir. And I wonder, I bet a lot of those MAGA people pay a lot of the taxes in New York, where the governor likes to spend money as a liberal Democrat. Have you ever heard of such a thing? You've been around a little longer than Karyn and I. Not only do I not want your support, I want to put you on a bus if you're MAGA and get you out of New York. I've never heard a governor of either party say such a thing.
Well, I didn't know that they had added another prerequisite to become governor of New York. Obviously, being competent is not one of those. And can you imagine how ludicrous such a statement would be? But you know what has happened, Ed and Karyn? I believe really the Democrat Party is no longer the party that we knew years ago. It is now the Socialist Party. And if they can control what we do, what we think, how we act, how we speak, where we go, and under what conditions, that seems to be their agenda. It's the height of hypocrisy. They want to appear to be more erudite and scholarly than everybody else. They have the answers, at least they think so. You know, a fellow told me that he went to the eye doctor and the optometrist asked him, said, "What do you see?" And he said, "Well, it's what I don't see that concerns me."
Mm.
Yeah, and it seems like, what I can't believe is that they're just being so open now to just say what their agenda is that goes so against what most people want, and then they call themselves moderates. And it's almost, if you don't support this groupthink type of mentality, they just want to push you out. And it seems so obvious. I know, Andrew Phipps, that you talk to everybody, that you walk around and meet people because that's how we met you. I'm wondering what you say to people. If you see somebody out and they seem to be maybe on the other side of things, maybe not as conservative, maybe they have a mask on, there's some sort of a clue. What do you say to those people? How do you open up a conversation so you can give them a little tidbit of intelligence throughout the day?
Well, I was privileged Saturday to speak at State Representative J.D. Prescott's picnic over in a place known as Winchester, Indiana. Congressman Greg Pence was there, and then a good friend Chris Crabtree from Congressman Jim Banks' office was there, and I tried to speak. I didn't want to be doom and gloom. I didn't want to be too somber, but I tried to warn and advise to the best of my ability, as best as I could articulate it, the seriousness of the hour. And I think sometimes that we just don't get it. I mean, I believe that the representative democracy that we have is in a precarious situation. I think we're kind of hanging by a thread. And you know what concerns me is that I don't know, as was stated earlier, how much more the American people that embrace common sense, common decency, and they want to live their lives in a quiet and peaceful manner, I don't know how much they're going to take. When we have people at the governor of New York's level telling people to leave the state and making very unreasonable statements. I mean, there was a day and time when both political parties at least had a semblance of common sense. And it's very regretful that seems like that has evaporated today.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got just under a minute, Andrew, but I thought Karyn made a really important point at the top of the show. We were talking about Charlie Crist in Florida, picking a lieutenant gubernatorial nominee who was very radical. I mean, she's out on social media in recent years. She's, first of all, a school union president, so she's already far left. She said nasty things about parents. She said positive things about the Castro regime in Cuba. She protected a guy who was convicted. It wasn't an allegation. He was convicted of raping children in a school, and initially said as the union boss, it wasn't really her department. It wasn't really hers to do. And at first, a lot of people over the weekend said, boy, they didn't do their homework on this woman. Why didn't they look at her record? And Andrew, Karyn said they probably did look at her record. And this is what the Democrats want to put up because they're pushing socialism.
Absolutely. And I think Karyn has made a wonderful observation there, Ed, in the fact that I think that the Democrat Party, that John Kennedy had a famous quotation. He said, our rights didn't come from the generosity of the state. They came from the hand of God. What a complete change in the attitudes and in the values. And when the former leader of the Democrat Party said, if you are pro-life, you're not welcome in this party. And when in 2012, they also said that, you know, we don't want God in the platform. Don't mention God. We can leave him out. Well, I'm telling you, if the people do not see through this craziness, we're going to regret it, and we are going to regret it in a very, very serious way. I pray that people will be enlightened and see where we are in this journey of what we call this great republic. This great republic, we must keep it at all costs. I want to be a patriot. I want to stand for what made us great, the exceptionalism of America. That's what I want to stand for. I'm a Christian first, but I'm also a citizen of the greatest country that has ever been, and I thank God for that.